You're watching We Talk Media, and I'm your host CJ. Welcome back to another part of the CD collection update. Well, yeah, this is going to be very fun. It's a new series that I'm doing, but yeah, today it's time for B's, or every CD that starts with B's, the B category. See that the back shelf is completely empty, parts of it, because that's where they came from. Let's get into it. Let's start out. First one I have is Baby Metal. A lot of people don't like them. I do. But yeah, first one to start out with Baby Metal. I'm going to be kind of going fast here because the last video was kind of too long. Baptism, The Devil's Fire, great black metal. Great album, honestly. Something to check out if you haven't. Here we're getting into Bathory, which we have Bathory's first album from 1984. Very good early black metal. Under the Sign of the Black Mark, like one of the best albums of all time, honestly. One of the greatest, as some of the best ones like Woman of Dark Desires. The compilation, the two compilation albums, 1 and 2, Volume 1, Volume 2, like those as well. Got them because they were there. Battle Beast, Steel, first Battle Beast album. Yeah, just even their earlier stuff, even their first album's good. Battle Beast, the self-titled 2013 album, pretty good as well. Unholy Savior, which is a really good, it's actually really good power metal. You would check that one out. It's pretty good. Another Unholy Savior copy. I have two of them. I have 2 copies of Unholy Savior. Bringer of Pain, their one from 2017, and then No More Hollywood Endings from 2019, and then Circus of Doom from just recently last year. It didn't make the end of the year list, but it was a pretty good album, and it was close. It was very close. Beast in Black, the guitarist that was previously in Battle Beast, but got kicked out of the band or left. I'm not too sure, but yeah, this one is great. This band is good. I do like Beast in Black as well. Huge fan of them and their vocals. Their vocals are really good. Next one is a Behemoth big Behemoth package with Forest Dream Eternal, Seventh Birth, Grom, and Parademonic Incantations. Their very first 3 albums and their first EP. This is black metal Behemoth. It's really good, honestly. Behemoth Evangelion from 2009. It's the one that get the OV Fire in the Void, or Fire in the Void song, which is just epic. I love that one. I Loved You at Your Darkest by Behemoth. Don't have their newest album. Not really a big fan of their new album, but yeah. Beherit, Drawing Down the Moon. Really good black metal, honestly. And we move into the next stack, which is, we start out with some Belphegor, which is The Last Supper and Blood Sabbath, which are their first 2 albums, and that when they were at their more raw. Necrodemon and Terrorson, I think it is. Satan, Terror Satan. Lucifer and Cestus, one that I have on my battle vest that I'm going to be redoing. Yeah, that's going to be not fun, but I gotta do it anyways. Bondage Goat Zombie and Pest Apocalypse. If you've never listened to these 2 albums, they're like peak Belphegor, like amazing stuff. Blood Magic Necromancy, or Blood Magic Necromance, another great. Some more good albums from them. They basically have all good albums. There's not really any bad albums that they've ever done. Conjuring the Dead, that just that Conjuring the Dead song is just epic. Totem Ritual. This one is pretty good as well. It's got Baphomet on it. If you've never heard Baphomet by them. Belphegor, The Devils from 2022 did not make the end of the year list, but was in the contention for it. It definitely come to my thought that I should put that one on the end of the year list, but it never really materialized for me to put it there. And we got Benediction, which I don't really hear too much about Benediction, and that is kind of bad that I don't hear about them too often, which is Subconscious Terror and the Grand Levelers double pack. Just I think they have Marty from Napalm Death, early the one that was on that's the vocalist of Napalm Death now is actually on this first Subconscious Terror album. Like, yeah, it's just epic. It's just honestly a great album. Benediction with Transcend the Rubicon and Dreams You Dread. Really, another band that has never done anything bad. Another band that's basically perfect. Grind Bastard and Organized Chaos double pack. I have double packs of all three of their albums at that time. The 90s records. And we get to move on. I gotta move these out of the way. This is what I've been trying to figure out what to do trying to figure out is what to do with the ones that I've already done, and that is to move them up as I go, because yeah, I don't have much room. I don't have much room here, or much room on the desk. Hopefully you can. Oh well, if you see them. Oh well. Coming up. Benediction Killing Music. I do have all the Benediction albums. I went out of my way to pick up all the Benediction albums. And yeah, this one's the gold CD copy, which is out of 2,000 copies. This one is 131. As you can see right there, 131. This one is the 131st copy of it. Benediction Scriptures. Another, this is like their return album, their first one they did in like 10 years, and it came out in 2020. I think I reviewed it as well. Yeah, I did. Beyond Creation, Earthborn Evolution. This album is absolutely amazing. I know a lot of people like rip on this band for how they're like, oh, it's so boring. It's not boring to just take in the whole musicianship behind it. And Beyond the Black, Songs of Love and Death. If you've seen that, I did do a ranking of that earlier on this year when I was at my old place, but yeah. Lost in Forever, another great album from them. They basically have all good albums. There's no bad album to go with. Heart of the Hurricane, Horizons, and their 2023 album, the self-title. Now we get to some of the ones that this is one of the bands that got me into it and into death metal, and this is the album that did. The Wreckage of Stars by Black Crown Initiate. Check this one out. It's honestly amazing. The musicianship and the vocals and everything just about it is just an amazing album. Just, yeah, amazing stuff. Black Crown Initiate, Selves We Cannot Forgive. And then one from 2020, which actually did make it on the end of the year list on 2020, which is Violent Portraits of Doomed Escape. Another great, they've had no bad albums. Honestly, it's another band that has no bad albums. We move on to the Black Dahlia Murder with Unhallowed. Unhallowed, the first one, Miasma. It's, yeah, there's some really good classics on here. And just how Trevor's voice is on the first two albums is just really amazing. And then they upped it with Nocturnal. Like, Nocturnal is just an absolute beast with What a Horrible Night to Have a Curse. There's Warborn, Nocturnal, Death Mask Divine. Just a whole lot of great stuff on that one. Defloor It, Black Valor, Necropolis, Denounce, Disgraced, Christ Deformed. Like, this is where they went full on. Like, this is the pinnacle, honestly. That and Nocturnal are like the two biggest albums they ever did. And a lot of people are going to disagree with me saying that Defloor It was one of the biggest albums they ever did. But yeah, it's one of their best. If you want to check out the ranking that I did a year ago on them, and you'll find out where that one goes. Ritual, I put this in one here because it's a paper disc or whatever it is. Yeah, I don't like those too much. Those on top here. Gotta keep them in the stack that they were because, yeah. More Black Dahlia Murder with Everblack. Oh, Everblack, The Goat of Departure. If you've never heard that song, you need to listen to that one. It is amazing. Goat of Departure. Abysmal. Probably the one that I've listened to the very least of all their albums. But yeah, what are you going to do? I have to go back to it. That's what I have to do. Nightbringers. The one that I first listened to from this band when it came out. Like Matriarch and Nightbringers and Catacombs, Hedatomb, fucking amazing stuff on that one. And then Verminous. Yep, this one was featured in 2020 on the end of the year list, and I think it was pretty high. My videos were terrible at the time, so if you want to go through that one and actually sit down, there's like 4 parts of it because I was kind of nuts at the time, so yeah, I kind of overdid it with that video. I should have done like a top 10 or something, or not just went through all the albums from that year, just listened to every single one. I should just thought of them and just like, okay, I'm going to listen to this one to make it. Black Label Society, Sonic Brew. Yeah, the first Black Label album is just dirty. It has such a dirty production to it, but it's just, yeah, it works. This one has a cover of No More Tears by Ozzy Osbourne that Zakk Wylde played on the original Ozzy album it was on, so I wouldn't really consider it a cover, but it is Zakk Wylde on vocals on that song from No More Tears on Black Label Society, Sonic Brew, but yeah. Stronger Than Death from year 2000. Not like this. I've never done a Black Label ranking. I should do it because I really do like Black Label Society. It's been one of my favorite bands for years, and I don't know why I've never done a ranking. 1919 Eternal. I listened to this album a lot, and yeah, the disc is basically screwed up because I've been listening to it for so much. Basically screwed up as in it's been played too many times, but it's not broke per se. The Blessed Hell Ride. Oh, The Blessed Hell Ride. I know a lot of people rip on the guitar tone on here. I actually consider this guitar tone good. Stuff like Stoned and Drunk, Doomsday Jesus, The Blessed Hell Ride. Just, yep, epic stuff. Hangover Music, Volume 4. I think Volume 4. Yeah, the whole thing with this one is it's just acoustic stuff. It's really not that good, in my opinion. Black Label Society, Mafia. Yeah, this is the one with Suicide Messiah, In This River, and Fire It Up. In This River was the tribute to Dimebag Darrell, which was a good tribute. Electric Hellfire is also on here. Just amazing stuff on that one. Then, actually, one that I like is Shot to Hell. I know a lot of people will discard this one and say it's not that good, but I really do consider this one pretty good. Like, what is it, Sick of It All, Concrete Jungle, My Last Goodbye, The Last Goodbye, just great stuff on it. And yeah, I'll push this back here, push more back and bring more up, and push more back. So that's what we have to do because it's way overcrowded over here. Yep. Sorry about this. But yeah, this is what I have to do because there's so many stacks. I gotta use just you have my permission to basically watch this while doing something else, just to hear which ones I have, and if anyone catches your mind, just yeah. Sorry about that. Probably looks terrible for me to do that, but that's what I have to do. And now I have room to do the rest of the video without doing that again, so that's cool. Black Label Society with Grimace Hits. I do have a signed copy of this. I probably will do a signed one at the very end, but yeah, great stuff, but really not as good as the original or the older albums. We Sold Our Soul for Rock and Roll, Black Sabbath Volume 1, the greatest hits of Black Sabbath off their first two. Yeah, which I also do have their first two albums, which I have all the Sabbath albums. So, yeah, good one. This is a classic as well. It's more of a blues rock album than like a heavy metal record, but a lot of people do consider it heavy metal. It's kind of blasphemy to say, but Paranoid, the classic. This one I do consider heavy metal with War Pigs, Iron Man, Electric Funeral, Planet Caravan, and Fairies Wear Boots. Really classic album. I did do a ranking back in the day for it, but yeah, I have to do another one. Master of Reality from their third album. Stuff like Children of the Grave and Solitude Into the Void. Just great stuff on that one too. Volume 4. Volume 4 is like where they started using that like C standard tuning that's lower than what they were doing before. Snowblind, Supernaut, just it's where they went more doomy vibe. Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, one that I'm not really a big fan of, but I can understand. I could get behind a lot of these songs, but it's just not as good as the rest of the discography. It's like one of their bottom, in my opinion. It's one of their worst, but still really high up, maybe like a 9 or a 10 still. Sabotage. Yes, this one is you have to listen to Sabotage. This one is like peak, like almost peak Sabbath. Hole in the Sky, Symptom of the Universe, Megalomania, which the back half of Metallica Mania comes from that song Megalomania. Basically just combine Metallica, put an L on the end of it, and then Mania from that song. So yeah, that's where the channel name comes from, if you wanted to know. Technical Ecstasy, which is more of like a weirder experimental album, which I actually really like. I actually really like it as well. Never Say Die. It's a good album. It's very good. I know a lot of people rip on it, but yeah, stuff like Johnny Blade, Shockwave, Air Dance. The artwork is amazing on that one. The whole spider pilot thing that they had going with it. Black Sabbath, Heaven and Hell, the first one with Dio. Another one that I love. There's some songs on it that are a little iffy for me. Mob Rules. This one is like this one is amazing, honestly. Mob Rules, Sign of the Southern Cross, Voodoo. Check that one out. It's really good. Born Again, the one with Ian Gillan on vocals. I think, yeah, from Deep Purple. I think, yeah, maybe. Yeah, Ian Gillan on vocals. A lot of people rip on this album. I don't get why. I like Trash, Disturbing the Priest, Zero the Hero, Zero the Hero, just amazing stuff. And then Digital Bitch. Like, if Digital Bitch, listen to that song. It's amazing. It's an amazing song. It's a weird, like, nonsensical song, but it's still fucking great. Seventh Star. This one is actually really good if you've never heard it. It's one of the ones that kind of fly under the radar because it's not like a Dio or Ozzy album, but it really is worth your time to listen to. Eternal Idol. This one is another one that's worth listening to. It's got what is it? Born to Lose, The Shining, Ancient Warrior. It's the first one with Tony Martin on vocals. That's the Martin era Sabbath. I really do like the Martin era Sabbath. I know a lot of people will disagree with me on that, but I really do like Tony Martin's vocals on Black Sabbath stuff. Headless Cross. I don't know if this is a bootleg. Probably is because it's like near impossible to ever get an actual legitimate copy of this album. Headless Cross, Devil and Daughter, Call of the Wild, Black Moon. Just epic stuff. Tear, which is the last one before Dio came back, but yeah, this one is very underrated. A lot of people need not a lot of people talk about this album. I kind of consider it one of their it's a good album to listen to. Dehumanizer, it's like the deluxe expanded edition. TV Crimes, After All the Dead, Computer God, Letters from Earth. It's like the weird Dio stuff that they were doing with Ronnie James Dio at the time. That is coming up in part D, if you want to know that. There's a lot of Dio that I have as well. Cross Purposes. It's the second last album that they had Tony Martin on. So, yeah, you know what you're getting with Tony Martin's vocals. And Forbidden, this is one of them that, yeah, there's one song that, Illusion of Power. No, it's bad. It's very bad. 13, the one that they returned with Ozzy for like one last time. Yeah, this one's not for me, honestly. It doesn't even sound like Black Sabbath, honestly. For me, it doesn't sound like Black Sabbath at all. Black Star Riders. I think that's like some of the band members from like Cheap Trick, I think it is, on that, on Black Star Riders. And we go to one that's pretty controversial, Black Veil Brides. Yes, I do like Black Veil Brides. I've liked them ever since like 2020. I used to be like a honest, like elitist, and I really didn't like this band for some reason. I just never gave them a chance, never listened to them, and just kept ripping on their stuff constantly. But now I'm a huge fan of theirs. I've seen them in concert before. Set the World on Fire from 2011, their second album. New Religion, Fallen Angels, Legacy, Ritual. Yeah, just epic stuff, honestly. Wretched and Divine, the one with the In the End on it, their big classic song that... Yeah, and I don't have their self-title, which is kind of weird to not have their self-title. I really thought I did. Veil from 2018. This is when they started to really get their stuff together for after their two albums that they did with or their one album they did with Bob Rock. You know how I feel about Bob Rock. When he goes into metal, it doesn't work. Ultimatus, Wake Up, When They Call My Name, The Outsider, just great stuff on it. One that The Phantom Tomorrow from 2021. Wow, it has actually been a year since this one was released. It feels like just like yesterday that this one was released, with stuff like Scarlet Cross and Born Again, Wicked One, Shadows Ride, Fields of Bone. This one is amazing, honestly. This is like, yeah, go see the ranking if you want to see where that one ended up. Yeah, as you can tell, it ended up pretty high if I'm quite praising it like that. Blind Guardian, Battalions of Fear. Never done a Blind Guardians ranking. Wish I have in the past, but never got to it. Yeah, it's basically when they were like really thrash metal instead of power metal, but Follow the Blind, really good album as well. And Tales from the Twilight World, which does have a remix and original CD in it. I bought it because it had the original ones in here. The one that got me into Blind Guardian, which is Somewhere Far Beyond, and Imaginations from the Other Side. Closer. Nightfall and Middle Earth, based off on the Silmarillion, I think it is, from the Tolkien series. Yeah, I haven't gotten around to reading Tolkien. I really do. I am thinking about doing that for but I have so many books to read at this point. And yeah, A Night at the Opera, actually very underrated, and you should check this one out. It's pretty good. Blind Guardian live from 2003. From their live albums, you could tell that they're really good live as well. I wish I would get to see Blind Guardian live. And then there was Silence, a single, one of the only singles I have in my collection from Blind Guardian. Beyond the Red Mirror from 2015. And their brand new one that I did a review on, The God Machine from 2022. Bloodbound with Creatures of the Dark Realm. One band that I've really not dove into except this album, but I seen online, listened to it, and decided to buy it because I liked it. That's when I could afford to do that. Like, I can't really afford to do that anymore. Bolt Thrower, Realm of Chaos. Yes, I have Bolt Thrower. I like Bolt Thrower. I've had a lot of questions on my TikTok about Bolt Thrower. Oh, where's your Bolt Thrower stuff? Well, here it is. I'm showing it now. Realm of Chaos. War Master. I've done a Bolt Thrower ranking, which sucked because it's an old video. So, viewer discretion is advised. The video is terrible. It's terrible quality. I speak terribly. I don't have a very good voice at the time. My voice was basically like just starting. Like, I basically had a really high squeaky voice, but yeah. The Fourth Crusade. Yeah, this is old. This is great death metal, honestly. For Victory from 1994, and then they had I had a big break in Bolt Thrower buying. 2005, Those Once Loyal, another really good one. Bon Jovi, the first album Bon Jovi, or when Bon Jovi was good. Yes, I really like this one. Runaway, Roulette, Love Lies, Breakout, amazing stuff. Honestly, it's amazing glam from Bon Jovi. It's when Bon Jovi was glam and wasn't like weird rock music or some shit. But yeah. 7800 Fahrenheit. Yeah, 7800 Fahrenheit. Tokyo Road. This one has Tokyo Road on it. If you've never heard that song, check it out. Bon Jovi at its finest here. I'm never doing a Bon Jovi ranking. This is my favorite. I'm never doing a Bon Jovi ranking because I basically only like 4 of their albums. Silkberry When Wet, probably their more classic one. But yeah, actually kind of not a big fan of this album, but still got it because, well, I wanted to check it out, and I had no, like, concept of cash or money or anything, so I was like, okay, I'll buy it. I'll buy it to just listen to it. Yeah, that's really good to do that way, which, yeah, it's not really the best thing to do. Push it off camera. Get the last 2 stacks on by the camera so I could. Oh, I have to switch them around. I have to switch them around because yeah. Bon Jovi, New Jersey. Basically the last like really good album by Bon Jovi. Keep the Faith, Bon Jovi from the 90s, 1992. Really not a big fan of it. Just like These Days, as well as more of like a grunge alternative like style, because like they always big popular artists always like to jump on the bandwagon when it comes to like popular music, and then it just never works. All the glam bands try to go and do this alternative rock stuff, and really it never worked, and it really was never good. The only one that ever did any good with it, but still failed commercially, was Dokken. That's the only one that ever actually did anything with that, because yeah, their 1995 album and their Shadow Life album are just absolutely amazing. Crush, Bon Jovi, and this is the one with It's My Life, which is like one of their biggest hits. But yeah, only shining point of that album was that song. So Borknagar, the Archaic Course. Yeah, this album is pretty good. This is This is one of their early albums. The Archaic Course. Look up that. The Archaic Course. Look up that. If you want to find out that band, because their band logo is pretty hard to read, and their name is hard to pronounce. So, Boston, the great arena rock from the 1970s. 1976, More Than a Feeling, Peace of Mind, rock and roll band, Smokin', Hitch a Ride, the classic stuff. Of course, I'm going to like Boston. I like stuff like Europe. Don't have any Europe. I wish I did. But yeah. Boston, Don't Look Back. Boston is a band that's either like hit or miss with albums. Yeah, no, don't bring up that TikTok. Don't bring up that TikTok. Yeah, it's very hit or miss with this album. I would kind of say it's a miss, but there's some okay ones on here, but yeah. Breaking Benjamin with Saturate. I think it's their first album. Yeah, it's their first album. So I'm a fan of Breaking Benjamin, and yeah. This one, doesn't it have polyamorous? Yeah, it has polyamorous on it. Phobia. This one was my childhood, honestly. This album was my childhood, with like Diary of Jane, Breath, You, Evil Angel, Topless, Unknown Soldier, Had Enough. Just absolutely epic stuff. Dear Agony, another one from my childhood that I listened to basically on repeat. I don't know if the CDs even work anymore because I listened to it so much. Dark Before Dawn, Breaking Benjamin. Ember, I think, yeah, Ember. It's one with Red Cold River. If you've never heard that song, that one's good. It's not metal. I know this video is titled Metal CDs, but yeah, it's predominantly metal. There's some rock in here because I do like rock music as well. Brothers of Metal, Endless Saga. I put this one on the list like in 2020. I basically went out and bought all the 2020 albums. Will not be doing that this year because, well, tight on money. So I might do some albums without actually purchasing CDs for once. Buckethead, Coma. Yes, I like Buckethead. I'm kind of a fan of Buckethead. But the thing is, you can't listen to all of his albums because you'd be sitting there for fucking weeks. Because he has over 300 studio albums. Yes, Buckethead has over 300 studio albums. Kind of ridiculous. But yeah, it's pretty funny to say that. Buckethead, Monsters and Robots. Another Buckethead album from the 90s. It's when he didn't do 100 studio albums a year. Bullet for My Valentine, the first EP, has Panda Blood, Cries in Vain, Curses, No Control, Just Another Star. It's when Bullet for My Valentine was... when it wasn't polished. It was all just raw, like, it was raw, honestly. It's very raw production quality, kind of like shitty production quality stuff. The Poison, the first, like, the classic emo metalcore, like, thing that they were doing back then. Bullet from a Valentine, Scream, Aim, Fire, another one that's in a CD, because, well, the paper case is whatever the fuck it is. Fever, one of their better albums, Your Betrayal, Fever, The Last Fight, just epic stuff on that one. Temper, Breaking Point, POW, Dirty Little Secret, a lot of good songs in that one too. Venom, I know a lot of people that consider this like this one is one of this is one of their best, absolutely one of their best albums. Gravity, yeah, if you know, you know. This one is pretty shitty, but yeah, it's pretty shitty. I can admit that. Bullet from a Valentine self-title from 2023, I think. 2022. I think it's from 2022 or 2021. I don't remember, but Burning Witches, Hexenhammer, another. This one is pretty good as well. There's a lot of great songs on it. Dance with the Devil, Burning Witches, and one that I reviewed last year, which is another Burning Witches album. The Witch of the North has a cover of Hall the Mountain King on it from Sabotage, one of the best songs of all time. And yeah, that album is one of the best albums of all time. That's another album that I'm going to shout out here with this album. Hall the Mountain King, Sabotage. Yeah. Chris Oliva's legendary guitar performance on that one. John Oliva's like streaking vocals and over-the-top stuff. Yeah. The Witch of the North, Fight of the Valkyries. Just amazing stuff. Amazing stuff on that one. Bury Tomorrow. Yeah. Bury Tomorrow, a metalcore band. The Union of the Union of Crowns. Their vocalist that left the band was pretty good as well, and he does very good on here too, which is Cannibal. I did put this one on the list in 2020. And here's some Burzum stuff. Here's some Burzum. Not a fan of it. Absolutely not a fan of it. I basically grew out of Burzum, but yeah, what are you gonna do? I grew out of them. I bought it when I was a kid. I bought it when I was like in high school or middle school. When I first got into black metal, and then, well, viewed a whole lot better stuff. And yeah, Fallen, can't show the album cover for Fallen, and then Butthole Surfers, Electroland, Electric Land, with the with Pepper, Cough Syrup, TV Star, my brother's wife. A lot of great pop punk on that one. Absolutely love that. And so that is the B section my CDs. So hope everyone liked it, and stay tuned for C whenever I get that ready and go for it.